It's rare for a movie to make you feel heartbroken and confused at the same time. Not just sad, not just shocked, but genuinely unsure whether you're watching a tragedy or a fever dream. Regretting You does something wild. It asks you to grieve two people who betrayed the ones they loved most, while also rooting for the ones left behind to finally find happiness. And somehow it makes you laugh while doing it. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that subscribe button. We're diving into the wildest romances, the most unhinged dramas, and everything in between. You won't want to miss what's next. So let's talk about what makes this movie feel like it was written during a full moon. Regretting You is based on Colleen Hoover's novel and directed by Josh Boone. It stars Allison Williams as Morgan, a woman whose entire life gets flipped upside down when her husband dies in a car crash alongside her sister. That's already devastating, but then she finds out they were having an affair. Mckenna Grace plays Clara, Morgan's teenage daughter, who's trying to process the loss of her dad while her mom spirals into wine-fueled reality TV binges. Dave Franco plays Jonah, the childhood friend who's been silently in love with Morgan for 2 decades. And Mason Thames plays Miller, Clara's crush, who becomes her emotional anchor through the chaos. This is the kind of movie you watch with your phone face down and a box of tissues nearby. Maybe some popcorn too. You'll need the distraction. This movie doesn't just throw tragedy at you, it layers it. Morgan and Jonah have spent their entire adult lives wondering what if. They were the calm ones in high school, the introverts, the ones who actually talked about things that mattered. But life had other plans. Morgan got pregnant, Jonah left town, they married other people, and now 17 years later, those other people are gone, except they didn't just die. They died together in the same car, coming back from a secret rendezvous. So now Morgan and Jonah are standing in the wreckage of 2 relationships that weren't what they thought, grieving people who hurt them and trying not to fall apart in front of their kids. The emotional weight here is massive. You're watching 2 people who loved their spouses discover that maybe those marriages were built on something fragile. And at the same time, Clara is texting her crush about her feelings while her aunt dies in a crash, blaming herself for the distraction. The guilt is suffocating. The betrayal is suffocating. The love that's trying to emerge from all of it feels almost impossible. There's a scene where Morgan just stands in her house, staring at the walls like she doesn't recognise them anymore because she doesn't. Everything she knew was a lie, and the way Allison Williams plays it with this cold, unblinking stare makes you realise she's not crying because she's too angry to cry. She's past tears. She's in the void. Remember when I said this movie makes you feel confused? That's because it doesn't pick a lane. 1 minute you're watching Morgan destroy her life in slow motion. The next you're watching Clara fall in love in an AMC theatre lobby that's lit like a commercial. The tonal shifts are jarring. Characters deliver one-liners at funerals. There are montages set to indie pop right after someone's world falls apart, and somehow it all feels intentional. Like the movie knows it's unhinged and leans into it. Dave Franco's performance adds to the strangeness. He plays Jonah with this flat, almost robotic delivery, like he's been emotionally shut down for so long he forgot how to feel out loud. It contrasts wildly with Mckenna Grace, who plays every scene like her heart is being ripped out in real time. The contrast shouldn't work, but it does, because grief doesn't look the same on everyone. Some people scream, some people go silent, some people binge The Real Housewives and let the house fall apart. This is a movie about people who are supposed to be together finally getting their chance, except the chance comes wrapped in the worst possible circumstances, and that's what makes it so devastating, because you want Morgan and Jonah to be happy. You've been rooting for them since the opening scene, but how do you celebrate a love story that only exists because 2 people died? How do you kiss someone when you're still angry at the ghost of the person who made that kiss possible? The film doesn't give you easy answers, it just lets you sit in the mess. We've seen a lot of romance movies lately that feel sanitized, safe, predictable. Regretting You is not that. It's messy in a way that feels almost reckless. It's the kind of story that makes you text your friends afterward like, did we just watch the same thing? Because it asks you to hold 2 truths at once. That love can be real, even when it's built on broken pieces, and that grief doesn't wait for you to be ready. There's something refreshing about a movie that doesn't try to make everything make sense. Life doesn't make sense. People cheat, people die, people fall in love at the worst possible time, and sometimes the only way forward is to stop asking why and just let yourself feel. The audience I watched this with cheered when Morgan and Jonah finally kissed, not because it was romantic, but because it felt earned, because they'd been waiting for it for 20 years, and so had we. Maybe that's what movies like this remind us, that even when everything falls apart, there's still a chance to build something new. That love doesn't always look like a fairy tale. Sometimes it looks like two broken people choosing each other anyway. The lights fade, the credits roll, and for a second you wonder if you'd have the courage to do the same. If this movie sounds like the kind of chaos you need in your life, go watch it and then come back and tell me if you laughed, cried, or both. Because I'm still not sure which one I did.